Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill are ramping up, and we are going to tell you how they are going to be utilized, how their roles are going to evolve, and what Kellen Moore is planning on doing with these players. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard, and before we get into this, I just want to take a quick second and just say, shout out Taysom Hill. Shout out Foster Moreau. Their recovery, absolutely impressive. Let's just kind of quickly go through the timeline here. December 1st versus the Rams. After having a generational performance against the Browns, Taysom Hill tears his ACL on December 1st, and then he recently turned 35. But in between that, he had surgery to repair his ACL, and I believe it was 4 torn ligaments. Foster Moreau was injured with less than 2 minutes remaining in the season on January 5th against the Bucs. Both players returned on October 5th after practicing for 3 days. Guys, show them some love. Get in the comments. Show Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau some love. It's truly unbelievable. It's so impressive what they were able to do. And the fact that they're already out there is absolutely insane. So give them a lot of love. Give them a lot of credit. Get in the comments, like the video. Do what you got to do, but show these guys the support they deserve. And in terms of how were they utilized, in Week 5, of course, only 3 days of practice. I wouldn't say that they were on like a pitch count or anything, or they were in used in limited fashion, but they weren't 100% utilized, and they weren't 100% part of the game plan, at least in my opinion. Taysom Hill, only 11 total snaps on the day. 9 were on offense, 2 were special teams. He had a couple of runs, actually ended the day with negative rushing yards, but he did throw the ball once to Juwan Johnson to set themselves up. I thought that was a really good play. I was eager to see Taysom Hill be listed as a quarterback, and it is pretty cool to see that. But Foster Moreau had 30 total snaps, 22 on offense, 8 on special teams. Most of Moreau's snaps came as an inline tight end, and he did run 4 routes with no targets. Hill had 6 snaps lined up at quarterback, 1 snap lined up in the backfield, 1 snap lined up at tight end, and 1 snap lined up in the slot. So that's how they were utilized. That's how they got on the field, and their roles are going to continue to evolve. And really quickly, there's been this conversation and this narrative of like, oh yeah, Taysom Hill or Tyler Shuck's QB3, Taysom Hill's QB2. That's not true. Like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know why you guys think that. Taysom Hill is listed as QB3. Tyler Shuck is listed as QB2. And I understand maybe you want to tweet that out for likes on Twitter or whatever, but like, just the facts are Taysom Hill is QB3, Tyler Shuck is QB2, Spencer Rattler's QB1. Now that we got that settled, let's go into Kellen Moore on Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau. Moore saying that he thought that they came out pretty well, so obviously the more time on task, the more the New Orleans Saints will be able to build the roles for Hill and for Moreau. And when it comes to Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, I cannot tell you how big it is that they are back in New Orleans, and they are active and they are healthy. These guys, specifically Taysom Hill, are winners. They helped this team win. Since 2022, in the post-Sean Payton era, the Saints, when Taysom Hill has played any snaps, 20 and 21. Listen to the numbers when he does not take a snap. 2 and 13. They are game changers. They are difference makers. Taysom Hill is a winner. Foster Moreau is a key part of the offense. And I don't think it's any mystery that those 2 guys are back and the Saints get their first win that same day. I'm going to talk more about this, get more into Kellen Moore on Taysom Hill and what Hill and Moreau had to say themselves. But really quick, guys, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is the Tushy Bidet. Calling the Saints a crappy team, quite frankly, doesn't have the same sting to it now that I use a bidet. Although New Orleans is rebuilding, it's never too soon to plan for Super Bowl season. And installing a Tushy Bidet makes your bathroom visits so much more comfortable for you, your guests, and your pipes. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. Fun fact, 99% of people who wash with Tushy Wave feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom, and every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. I am not a plumber. I am not an electrician. I was able to put my Tushy bidet on my toilet at my apartment, and it was so dang easy. I like to say it's so easy a Falcons fan can do it. So instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient, and that is fresh water. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. So remember, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners at Saints Now by Chat Sports get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at HelloTushy.com with promo code CHAT. If you need a gift, if you need something to give to a friend, family member, or roommate in the holiday season, this is the perfect item to pick up. You can buy it now, store it in your closet, and once holiday season, you will have not just a great gift, but a clean butthole as well. So make sure you click the link in the comments and description of this video. Go to HelloTushy.com/chat, and you'll get 10% off your first bidet order. Shout out to Tushy for sponsoring us. Go keep that hiney shiny. Now, I want to continue this conversation because Kellen Moore, I think, is going to be a really, really fun coach to watch work with Taysom Hill. And we've seen the creativity, and we've seen the versatility, and we've seen the skills that Hill has. And I'm going to be honest, since Sean Payton's been around, we haven't had somebody who can really get in their bag and use Taysom Hill to the best extent since Kellen Moore. And here's what they had to say, or what head coach had to say about Hill. I was chopping at the bit last week when they had a chance to finally play, and so they were ready. They've done so much work on their own, and I feel like Taysom Hill specifically has progressed really, really well. And I think that Kellen Moore is an extremely bright offensive mind, and I don't think that it's any mystery as to why he climbed the coaching rankings so fast. He had a very, very successful college quarterback career as the passer for the Boise State Broncos. Excuse me. Doesn't have a crazy playing career in the National Football League, but quickly becomes a coach, climbs the rankings very, very fast, win a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and now is a head coach, and I think he's doing a damn good job. And I think that Kellen Moore, being the bright and creative offensive mind that he is, could be a really fun pairing and is a really fun pairing with Taysom Hill. I mean, he's a unicorn. He's an elite weapon. He's somebody who is a game changer. He's a winner. He is a player that no matter what, if he's on the field, you better have at least 2 or 3 sets of eyeballs on him, because only one set of eyeballs is not going to be enough to slow down Taysom Hill. So with Hill's versatility and his skill set and all of the amazing things that he does at a high level, I am so excited to see him work with Kellen Moore, who is a very bright mind, a great football coach, and somebody who I think is very, very innovative and creative. Now, I want to tell you guys to subscribe to the channel because we have a motto here: if you ain't subscribed, you ain't alive. So hit the sub button. Join the over 51,300 members of the Golden Gang. The Golden Gang is 100% free. All you got to do is subscribe, turn on your notifications, and you are locked in for life. So make sure you sub to Saints Now by Chat Sports and help us get to 52,000. That way we can get to 53, then 54, then 55. Should I do this all the way up to 100? You got time? Okay. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, all the way up to 100K. The more subs we get, the less time that whole thing takes. So there you go. All righty. More about Taysom Hill and Kellen Moore's thoughts on Hill. I think that this next quote we're going to show you is really, really telling as to how they're going to be utilized and how they will be ramped up to be contributors at a high level to this offense. Here's Kellen Moore on Taysom Hill. He leans on a lot of experience that he has. He can play quarterback in this league. He can obviously play all the other fun tool pieces that he's done in the past, and so we'll continue to utilize all of it. I don't think Taysom Hill is just a quarterback. I don't think Taysom Hill is a tight end. I don't think he's a running back. I don't think he is a receiver. I think Taysom Hill is a football player. Plain and simple. I think Taysom Hill is just a football player. I think he's a damn good one. And quite frankly, I think he's the best pure football player in the National Football League. I mean, name me one player who contributes the amount that Taysom Hill does. Sure, you could argue Travis Hunter, but he hasn't really done it all that long. Taysom Hill's been doing it much, much longer. So I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm really eager to see Kellen Moore's creativity open up. I'm really eager to see the playbook continue to evolve. I'm really eager to see how and when Taysom Hill will take over. Because I do think that takeover is coming. It feels like every year there's one or two games where there is just it's a Taysom Hill game. Just no matter what you do, number 7 is going to go number 7, take football, go that way, score points. That's what happens. It's that simple. There's always at least a couple of those every year. And I think that a Taysom takeover is coming. It would be really sick if it happened against the Patriots this upcoming week. But I do think it's going to take some time for him to fully learn and be a part of the playbook, just because it is a new playbook, it is a new system, and it's a new coach with all new things. So I do think it'll take a little bit of time. Now, Taysom Hill himself had to say this. The reality is I've had 3 days of practice with his coaching staff, and they've had 3 days of practice with me. Obviously, this was going into the game. Everyone's still learning through this process. I think it'll be one of those things that just evolves through time. And Taysom Hill had the opportunity to potentially retire. He had the opportunity to potentially leave the Saints, but he said, no, I want to be in New Orleans. I want to find a way to help this team win. I want to be a contributor. And for that reason, I just have to say thank you to number 7 and thank you to Taysom Hill, because just like he said, I think it's going to be one of those things that evolves over time. Just like I said, be patient. I think that Taysom Hill game is going to come soon, but the reality is, at the time of filming this video, you had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that's 3 practices. Wednesday and Thursday, so 5 total practices at the time of filming this video. And I think that Taysom takeover could come maybe after 6, but it's going to take a few practices to really be a full contributor at the highest level as possible. Get in the comment section, show some love to Taysom Hill. Type those 7s down below. I want you to praise number 7. He deserves the love. He deserves the support. I mean, him and Foster Moreau specifically, it's just so impressive with how they went about their recovery. It was so impressive how quickly they were able to get back and how they wasted no time making things happen for the black and gold. I mean, obviously Foster Moreau wasn't a contributor much in week 5, but it's coming. And so is Taysom Hill in a big, big way. Now, Foster Moreau, we've spent most of this video talking about Taysom Hill. I do want to take a moment to give him his flowers. I'm a firm believer that the tight end position in New Orleans has been severely underutilized, and it hasn't been nearly consistent enough, in my personal opinion. You can take a look at the tight end room right now in New Orleans. I do think that the usage of Jack Stoll has been really interesting to watch. I also think that when you consider Juwan Johnson and his role, he has been a player that hasn't been as efficient and as effective as you'd like him to be. And to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say he hasn't justified that contract. He caught the pass against the Cardinals to tie the game. This is an entirely different conversation. But all in all, the tight end room has been underutilized, and it hasn't really been tapped into enough. And I think that Foster Moreau does raise the overall talent level, because Jack Stoll isn't your TE2 now. He's your TE3. You don't have to worry about Maliki Mataval being a heavy contributor. Nothing disrespect to him, but you don't have to worry about him being a heavy one. Trayton Welch, same thing. Like, I think that Foster Moreau just makes this offense better, and he just raises the talent level as a whole. He has experience. He's a good player, and he's somebody who's a quality veteran in this league at this point. And the Saints are getting healthy at a good time. I think that we're seeing New Orleans start to turn a corner. You're seeing a lot of rosters getting more and more beat up. And sure, there are some injuries that are still lingering for the Saints, but Chase Young is returning to practice. Cesar Ruiz is a full participant after it was expected that he would miss 4 to 6 weeks. That only took like a week or two. Trevor Penning's back. You're seeing Justin Reed's concussion. He was a full participant at practice on Thursday. Like, you're really seeing this team get healthy at a really good time. And if you have health and good health going into the latter portion of the season, that could be a huge difference between wins and losses. So definitely something to think about and something to consider. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and shout out to Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau. And if you guys want to get more content in between our YouTube videos, I post on X, Instagram, and TikTok every single day. So hit me up on all 3 platforms. Just search up Trizzy Trace on X, IG, or TikTok. You'll be able to find me, or click the link in the comments and description. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.